Chunky highlights are back in. My name is Megan Lorson, and today I'm going to show you guys how to do modern 90s chunky highlight. Okay, first I'm going to start off by sectioning her. So the first section I'm going to take is going to be starting right about the corner of her eyebrow. We're going to take it straight back. And then we're going to come over to this side, start about the corner of the eyebrow, take it straight back. And we're going to start off by sectioning out her mohawk section. And we're just making a nice, perfect little rectangle shape on top of her head for the mohawk section. Next, we're going to section from the top of where that part ends down right behind her ear. And I'm going to take my clip and just section that forward out of the way. And then I'm going to turn her around and do the same exact parting on the other side from the top of where that first part ends down behind, right behind her ear. And then I'm going to clip that forward out of the way. And then I'm going to divide this bottom section. It's going to start from like the top of her ear and come all the way across to the other side, to the top of the other ear. I'm going to make sure it's a nice clean parting. I'm going to go just a hair below the top of the ear actually, because I need a little bit less hair down there. And then we're going to clip this section up out of the way. And we're going to start working from the bottom. So essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to work on a diagonal, and we're going to start right here. We're going to be doing a little bit of a color blocking technique. So I'm going to start out by using the lightest color because this hair is right in that corner, and this is the hair that's going to fall forward, and this is the hair she's going to see in the front. So depending on if they want to see more lightness or darkness, that's going to determine what color you start with right here. So I'm going to say she wants to be lighter because it's summer, so I'm going to make sure I get these two back corners with that lighter color, and then we're going to alternate and be doing light and dark. So we're going to take a section about an inch thick on a diagonal, and then we're going to clip this out of the way. We're going to start with our lighter color, and then we're essentially going to color block all the way to the other side. Okay, here's my setup. So I've got the Crema XG 5N and 8NB mixed up with 10 volume, equal parts. And we're going to be using some foils for this technique today. And I'm also going to be using my Paul Mitchell Pro Stick. You guys, I love this thing. If you guys haven't seen me use it in like pretty much all my other videos, I use it for like every single color service. I'm going to be starting in this back corner section right here. And I'm going to take about an inch section, and it's going to be on a slight diagonal. And then I'm going to take my clip and clip the rest of the hair out of the way. And then we're going to start working with the 8NB. So I'm going to take a little section out right there and grab one of my foils and place it here so we keep the color separated from the 5NB, or from the 5N. So this is 8NB we're applying. And then we're going to do a little bit of a color blocking technique. So we're going to do that little chunky section right here of 8NB, and then our next chunk is going to be 5N. And we're going to do that all the way across the bottom to create that chunky highlight. I'm also going to be showing you guys how to use the Crema XG on wet and dry hair. I'm going to be using it on dry hair now, and then we're going to go back in at the end and just do a little bit of a root tap to make it of a more modern chunky highlight look. After I get it nice and saturated, I'm going to take the rest of my section. I'm going to divide that in half. It's still a little bit too thick. You just want to make sure that the sections are small enough that your color can penetrate all the way through so you get a nice even color. And I love the consistency of the Crema XG because it's so creamy and it just goes on so nicely and evenly throughout the hair. And also I have the option of toning with it on damp hair as well, which I love, or using it for like root smudges or root taps. So I can really customize my look with the Crema XG, which I love. And 10 volume is all you need to mix with the Crema XG because we're just depositing color. This is gonna be so pretty, you guys. I'm not really a fan of the modern, or sorry, no, I was never really a fan of chunky highlights, but I'm actually kind of digging the whole modern 90s chunky highlights. They're just slightly different to me and I really am liking how they look. So I figured it would be fun to make a video to show you guys the modern 90s chunky highlights because I've been dying to do them and I kind of digging them. All right, so we got our first section there and I'm just gonna fold this foil up, lock it in. This is just gonna give it a little bit of separation between the color. You could easily color melt with these and kind of lay the color nicely on top of each other, but I'm just going to use foils. And then the next section is gonna be another inch section on a slight diagonal, and we are gonna be using the 5N for this one. And again, I'm going to take out a thin section and just kind of lay the rest of the hair on top of that clip. And then I'm gonna place my foil here, and then we're gonna apply the 5N on the next section. The foils just help keep everything a lot cleaner too. And then if you take your brush and you X the hair as you go down, it opens up the hair and really allows for good saturation, and it just makes sure that you get every little piece covered. Just a little tip there. I'm just gonna work it in, make sure it's really saturated. And then I'm going to grab the rest of that hair that I placed up here in this clip, and I'm going to split that in half. Continue working up the head in the same pattern. So we're going to start over here, taking actually a vertical section now, and we're going to follow this section right here, take it straight up. This whole section right here is going to be light, just like this one, and then our next one will be dark, the next one will be light, and we'll continue this pattern all the way across to the other side. Okay, so I've just finished foiling the back, and now we're going to move our way to the front, and we're going to work our way to the front on both sides, and then we're going to do the Mohawk section last. So what I'm going to do is continue that same pattern, and we're going to take vertical sections all the way to the front, and we're going to start out taking about the same size sections as we did in the back, about that inch sectioning. But as I get to the front, I'm going to alter that just slightly and take a little bit smaller sections, just so I make sure that I end up with some lightness around her face. I want to make sure that we get that 8NB around her face and not the 5N. Also, by doing the sides first, this is going to allow for us to have a little bit of a guide when we start working on the top Mohawk section. entire back and sides all completed. Now we're gonna start working on her mohawk section. Okay, so we're working with the mohawk section now, and I took about an inch size section, and what I'm gonna do is just lay the hair and see where it falls. And what I'm gonna do is just strategically place the color where it falls. So I'm gonna divide the color. This falls right on top of the 5N, so we're gonna color this whole section right here 5N. And then if I divide this falls right on top of that 8NB, and then this right here falls on top of the 5N. So we're going to color those right where they fall, and then we're gonna continue working up the head in a slightly different pattern. We're gonna basically be following the sides. So that's why I said it's gonna come in handy if we do the sides first. This would help us guide us on top. Her last section in the front, her last piece. This is going to be that money piece, and we want to keep it nice and light and bright. So this whole last section right here is going to be that A&B formula. So I'm going to turn her around, and I'm going to keep the foils going back. That way, if it was a real client, it would be out of her face. All right, here she is all foiled up, and I'm going to let her process for the full 20 minutes with that Crema XG on. And then we're gonna wash her out, and then I'll show you guys the next step. Okay, I've just rinsed the Crema XG out and shampooed her, and now we're gonna be applying Crema XG 5N to do a little bit of a root tap on her damp hair. All right, I'm gonna start about almost an inch away from the front. We're gonna leave this front section for last, and I'm just going to take that 5N and start tapping her roots all throughout, and I'm just gonna work my way, dividing her head into 4 quadrants, and I'm just tapping the root out about an inch, and that's it. Here is the end result. I absolutely love how it turned out, and I love the Crema XG because I just love how it gives me such a shiny finish, and it always makes the hair feel so soft and silky and just so smooth after I use it, whether I'm toning with it or using it for a full-on color application. Let us know in the comments if you would wear this trend. It's definitely coming back in. I'm totally loving it. And so just let us know in the comments below if you are loving this trend or if you're hating that it's coming back in. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this tutorial and this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any other future educational videos.